Hey, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, guys.
I was like, what the fuck is happening? That was so good. Dude, that fucked me all the way up. Oh my God.
Well, I'm keeping that in because I don't know what came over me. But hey,
You've been in
guys.
Florida too long, girl.
Oh, God. I will never say y'all. Ugh. Anyway, hey, guys. Welcome back to For I
Hello.
Have Sinned. My name is Jess,
And this is Lauren.
and we are back with episode 26 after like a 2-week break because I had some sickness in the house.
Yeah.
Um, it's never ending. It really is never ending.
You were just
Um,
getting down with the sickness. It's fine.
for sure. Um, this week it's Lauren's turn. Before we start, we wanted to give a shout out to Job from the Netherlands. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name. I think that's what he told me. But yeah, so he sent us like a hometown murder from where he's at, and we will cover that very soon. So thank you, Job. That's so cool that you
Yeah.
wrote to us.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
yeah, and we encourage anybody to write to our email, fryhavesinnedpod@gmail.com, or on our Facebook page, or on our Instagram. You can get a hold of us. So
Basically anywhere.
yeah, us personally, if you know us, whatever. Even if
Yeah.
you don't know us, you want to send one of us a message, go for it.
Yes. All
I'm
of it.
drinking a Truly. Oh,
Ooh.
oh, it won't show it.
Oh.
Here we go. Oh,
Oh. Ooh. Passion fruit.
my favorite. And maybe unpopular opinion, but these are so much better than White Claw. So
I agree, actually. I concur.
yeah,
I've done a lot of science on this.
a lot of
A lot of
experimentation.
research. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, Lauren, who do you have for us today?
All right. So this is it's actually pretty recent. This is a case that I had initially started writing as a 15-minute murder. And then the more I looked into it, the more I was writing about it, the more I realized, holy shit, this is not going to be 15-minute murder. This could be a whole
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
So, the trial and stuff hasn't started yet, but there's a lot of information leading up to the trial because it was so recent. And this is going to just have to be like a to be continued. So this will
Okay.
be the disappearance of Evelyn Boswell. This will be part one of that, and then it'll just be to be continued. I'll keep track of it, and I'll finish it up whenever everything gets resolved.
I don't know this one.
It was
I
pretty
haven't heard of
recent.
this.
It was pretty recent. So this story starts out 15-month-old baby girl named Evelyn May Boswell from Knoxville,
Okay.
Tennessee.
I
You
have
know who
heard
I'm
of this.
talking about?
I don't know the whole story, but I do remember a baby Evelyn going missing. Yeah.
Yes, you probably saw the picture. They were blasting the pictures of her everywhere. She was super cute, blonde hair, blue eyes, little cutie, sitting on like a purple plastic lawn chair. That was like the photo that they just put everywhere. So it was a pretty big case. Um, and it was this year. So
I already know this is going to piss me off.
yeah, it gets weird. So 15-month-old Evelyn Mae Boswell from Knoxville, Tennessee. She was reported missing by her maternal grandfather, Tommy Boswell Sr., on February 18th of 2020. In the month leading up to the disappearance, Evelyn's mother, Megan Boswell, had sole custody of the child and had been living in a house owned by her father, Tommy Boswell. Tommy Boswell told authorities that he'd not seen his granddaughter since sometime in early December 2019, but waited nearly 2 months until February 18th, 2020 to report the disappearance.
Casey Anthony vibes.
Yep, literally what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
Absolutely. On February 19th, so the next day after she was reported missing, an Amber Alert was issued by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. And on February 20th, the Amber Alert was updated to include photos and a description of the clothing she was last seen wearing, which was a pink tracksuit, pink shoes, and a pink hair bow.
Hmm.
I know. She was so cute. According to the Amber Alert, Evelyn was last seen by a babysitter on December 10th or 11th, 2019. So immediately, like you said, you get a fucking weird vibe from it. Casey Anthony type of situation where this child has been missing for quite some time and now it's just being reported missing. And it's one of the parents calling it in. That's like it's just a very, very weird situation. And
It's one of her, wait, it's one of I got confused. It's one of the Evelyn's parents or it's one of it's
no, the
her
the
the grandparents.
uh-huh.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I was gonna
Yeah.
say, if you
Sorry,
call
I
and you're
didn't.
like, I haven't seen my baby in 2 months. Can you like maybe help me out? Like,
Well, that
I got,
is kind of, I mean, it's a
oh
weird
God,
situation. Megan Boswell was immediately taken in and questioned in the investigation and had initially tried to pin the disappearance on the child of the father, who was a young
the
man named.
father of the child, do you mean? Just start again.
I even I typed it that way.
I just
Okay.
got confused for a second. I was like, what?
I'm fucking shot, dude. Okay, should we start over or just you
Just
can cut
go.
it? Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
okay.
cut it.
Megan Boswell was immediately taken in and questioned in the investigation and had initially tried to pin the disappearance on the father of the child, who was a young man named Ethan Perry. But investigators very quickly discovered that Evelyn's father was in the military and stationed in Louisiana at the time of the child's disappearance. So, like,
Did she
she's,
know this? Like, were they together?
yeah, like she's just fucking not, I don't know, something's up with this chick.
She
And
was
so,
young, right? The mother?
yeah, she's pretty young. I want to say she's like 19 or uh
Oh,
something
I
like
thought she was
that.
younger. Okay.
No, but like pretty young.
Still young, yeah.
Yeah. And it's at this point that pretty much right off the rip, they know something's up.
Yeah.
They're like, none of this makes sense already. She's starting off with false information. So they're
Yeah.
already kind of like, something's not right. Um, so I guess once they figured out that it couldn't have been the father of Evelyn, Megan then started accusing her mother, Angela Boswell, of keeping her child from her and holding the child ransom over some money that Megan owed to her mother. So, yeah, so now she's like, oh, it was my mom. And she,
Okay.
yeah, she actually spoke to a local news station and claimed that the reason that she never reported Evelyn's disappearance to police was that she believed the person who had the baby would run away with her. And
Okay.
she also said that the last time she saw Evelyn, that Evelyn was with, quote, someone she trusted to watch her while she went to work. So it's just like, nothing's really adding up. She can't tell the cops who exactly she left Evelyn with the last time she saw her. It's just everything's real weird.
Yeah.
So, the Amber Alert was then updated to include images of a gray BMW. And Megan said that this vehicle was possibly in connection with the disappearance. And it turns out that cops actually found the gray BMW, and who was driving it? Her mother, Angela Boswell. the person that she
Huh.
just accused of last having her baby and holding it ransom.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, dude. So apparently Angela Boswell and her boyfriend William McLeod were both arrested on February 22nd when the stolen vehicle was found. Um, I'm sorry, when the vehicle was found, but it was stolen. So they were charged. They were charged with theft of property over 2,500. So it's just a weird fucking situation. So
Yeah.
Megan must have known that her mom stole this car because she was the one that said, "Oh, a gray BMW," and then they found it, and Angela is the one driving it. It's just everything's real sketchy.
Yeah, I don't even know what to make of that.
I know, it's weird. And actually, up until this point, Megan didn't tell anybody that Angela Boswell was actually her mother. So as soon as Angela Boswell is found with the gray BMW and arrested, well, then Megan's like, "Oh yeah, Angela Boswell, that's my mom, and that's Evelyn's maternal grandmother."
Okay.
So, so now they're like, exactly, literally, like, okay. That same day that Angela Boswell was found and arrested, February 22nd, a petition for Evelyn's Law was actually started and sent to the Tennessee Senate. And this was a bunch of people that saw what was, going on in the news, and they were like, "This isn't right. How is this child missing for, you know, 2 months and nobody reported her missing?"
Yeah.
So the petition was to amend the current law to make it illegal for a parent to wait more than 72 hours to report a child missing, which is pretty fucking sad that that even has to be made
Yeah.
into a law. Uh,
And also I feel like even 72 hours is too long, especially when it comes to a baby.
yeah. I know that at least when I lived in New York, I know it was 24 hours that somebody had to
Yeah.
be missing before you could actually make like a report.
But
Yeah,
like a baby,
yeah.
if a baby is missing for a fucking half hour,
I was just gonna
less.
say 10 minutes. Like,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Good Lord.
hmm So they did end up passing Evelyn's Law, which is great. I agree that it should be maybe a little bit less than 72 hours, but whatever. So
Yeah.
on February 24th, Megan spoke to a local news station once again. So she's, I don't want to say enjoying the limelight, but she's definitely like having her fair share of media time.
Yeah.
She told the news station that her mother, Angela, had taken Evelyn to a place called Mendota in Virginia. This is a direct quote. "I told TBI where to find her in Mendota. My mom took her to a campground in a silver camper, and if they don't go tonight, I'm going to go find her myself because I've told them and they're not really like taking it seriously. And if they don't go tonight, I will go myself and go get her. They're not taking me seriously. TBI isn't because I've not fully told them. I've been like, hey, my mom camped out in Mendota, go check them out. But I've never been like, hey, specifically, hey, she's like in a silver camper because my mom did threaten me, like, if I told anybody, I'm not going to get into that, but she did."
The fuck?
Direct quote. So, whatever the fuck that means, like, you could tell she's just rambling and making shit up and just, I don't know what's going on.
Is she
And then
on drugs?
I don't think so. And I'll explain why in a bit, but it gets really weird after that because then she goes on to say that her family is are gypsies,
Oh.
and then she says gypsies are not a cult, and this is like the same news interview from her saying that the baby's in Mendota with her mom. I guess I don't know if Mendota is like a big gypsy area or what, but she's saying gypsies are not a cult. They've been asking people if there's like a gypsy ringleader, and like, I mean, like, we're not like ringleaders. We're not like out here kidnapping babies or anything like that. Well, yeah, and like my dad's very proud of that, but he's just mad about all the rumors going around like trashing them because like we're not a cult, you know what I mean? We're not like nothing like that at all.
What the
That was actually
fuck?
painful.
She says like more than I do.
Yeah, that was real painful. That I feel stupider for having read that.
That is really, yeah, that's,
It's so this is kind of what they're working with. And you have to imagine if this is the shit that she's saying on TV to the news, I can only imagine what she's saying to the police.
yeah.
It's
And
just
she's saying this gypsy thing, this just came out. Like, are they actually gypsies? Like, what is it, Romani gypsies or something?
I don't know if they actually are or if she's just saying that. I'm not sure. There's not a whole lot about her other than this situation.
Okay.
So I don't know where that came from, but she went off about gypsies. And, I found it weird that she says specifically, we're not like out here kidnapping babies. Well,
I mean,
someone is.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fucking weird.
Yeah. So, no help from Megan. Extensive searches continued around the clock. Uh, Local and state police, residents, people are just out here trying to find this baby. The campgrounds at Mendota had not been searched yet, despite Megan's claims that Evelyn was there, because I don't think there was really anything that they believed about that story. So
Yeah.
they let the cops in Virginia know, hey, this is what we have going on, but there was no reason to believe that that claim was actually true. So they didn't search those campgrounds at that point yet. On February 25th, Megan once again contacted local news through Facebook, and she said that she was pregnant and therefore couldn't take a polygraph test in relation to Evelyn's disappearance. And that's why I don't think she was on drugs, because she actually was pregnant. That was
Okay.
true.
But can you really not take a polygraph test if you're pregnant?
I do not know. Actually, I don't know if that's BS or not, but she was really pregnant. So I don't know. I actually didn't look into that, but I will Google it at some point.
Yeah, because that seems,
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't I
maybe,
mean,
but
oh, fuck it. Let's full send. We'll just look it up right now. Can,
yeah. Yeah,
can you take a
that's,
polygraph pregnant? Here we go.
hmm.
You can. Wait. Not in the third trimester. I guess
Maybe it affects like the rhythm of breathing or something. Because doesn't that have a lot to do with the polygraph test? It's like,
all I can see that confirms is it says not in the third trimester, when the baby would be moving around a lot and could kick you and cause like some
oh,
sort of physiological
yeah, yeah.
response.
That makes sense.
However,
But she wasn't.
she was not visibly pregnant. She was definitely not third trimester pregnant. So I don't know. So she reaches out to the news once again and is like, "Oh, well, I can't take a polygraph because I'm actually pregnant." So just once again, weird behavior. And at this point, more than 500 tips and phone calls had actually been received by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, but none of them led to anything useful. And there had been no credible sightings. So that's a lot of people calling in, and they have no leads.
Wow.
That night of the 25th, Megan Boswell was actually arrested and charged with false reporting in connection with her daughter's disappearance. And she was held at Sullivan County Jail on 2,500 bond. So they knew, they had just been waiting for something to pin on her.
Yeah.
They like investigators knew something was up with this chick, and
Yeah.
ended up just getting her for the false reporting, which, it's not that big of a crime, but when you're trying to get anything on somebody,
Yeah.
because who knows, she could have interfered with any aspect of the investigation at that point. So they nabbed her, they had her locked up. She did not make bond. um The next day, February 26th, a press conference was held by the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office in response to the arrest of Megan Boswell. I mean, as you can imagine, this is all over the news, and this is the mother of a child that's been reported missing, and now they're taking her in and charging her with false reporting. So they held a press conference to kind of explain, like, hey, this is what's going on. Like, we're on to something here. Like, there's definite case of false reporting. So the investigators spoke publicly about how Megan continuously gave wrong information and conflicting stories. Captain Andrew Siebolt said, every time we talk to her, her story changes. And I'm serious when I say that, every single time. Like, he was adamant, like, we cannot get a straight story out of her. So
Wow.
yeah. And I think part of that was, like, they kind of wanted to cover their own asses and make sure that people didn't come at them with pitchforks for arresting the mother of this girl, because at that point nobody really knew what was going on, and Megan was all over the news. Oh, my baby's missing, she's here, she's there. So I think people actually believed her and felt sorry for her at first.
Yeah. Was there emotion or was it kind of just like,
From what I watched, no. Nope. She was just like very not cold. Like, you could tell she has like a personality. She has some inflection in her voice when she talks, but like really nothing as far as displaying emotions. Very
wow.
strange. Yeah. So just after the news conference ended that day, a tip was called in around 1:40 p.m. in Wilkes County, North Carolina. So now we have Tennessee involved, Virginia involved, and this brings us to a third state, North Carolina. The person who called in told Wilkes County Sheriff's Office to search an area near a pond located near Wilkesboro. So investigators began searching the area immediately, and by 4 p.m., Wilkes County and Sullivan County in Tennessee both ended up reporting that they found out the property being searched belonged to someone that was connected to the Boswell family, and that was William McLeod. And now William McLeod, if you'll remember from earlier, is Angela Boswell's boyfriend that she was
Yeah.
arrested in the stolen car with. So kind of weird. Getting weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Searches. I know, it's.
Getting weirder.
This is why I was like, okay, I got to do a full episode on this, because there's no way I can condense this to like
No.
a 15-20 minute story.
No.
So, searches of the pond on the property owned by William McLeod actually didn't turn up any evidence. There was no new information, nothing. And mind you, William McLeod was still being held on bond since he was arrested with Angela Boswell 4 days prior. And he was actually interviewed by a local reporter in regards to Evelyn while he was locked up.
Okay.
McLeod claimed that he had only seen Evelyn once or twice since he began dating Angela Boswell sometime in 2019, and then he offered a DNA swab or a polygraph to prove his innocence.
Okay.
Now, I just feel like somebody who is truly innocent wouldn't automatically be like, oh, well, I'll do a polygraph to prove it.
Yeah, I mean, I think mm,
It just seems suspicious to me to
yeah,
immediately be like, well, it wasn't me. I only met the kid once or twice, and I'll do DNA to prove it. Like, all right, calm down. If they wanted your DNA or a polygraph, they would have asked you. He
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
being
that's true
accused of
then.
anything.
Right. Yeah, then yeah, that's definitely
And that's his
suspicious.
first reaction. It's
Yeah.
kind of it's fucking weird. They just wanted to know, like, oh, is there any information you can give us on Evelyn that could be helpful or whatever? And he's like, nope, didn't do it. Here, take my DNA. Like,
Yeah.
all right, bro, fucking chill. So he is
Yeah,
sketchy
that's
as
like
fuck.
almost like a knee-jerk reaction.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. The next day, February 27th, Megan's mother, Angela Boswell, and the boyfriend, William McLeod, were both scheduled to appear in court in relation to the theft of property charges from a week prior. And William McLeod's grandmother, Mary McLeod, lives near the pond in Wilkesboro, North Carolina, that was searched. So they have like family property all in the same area. And she was interviewed that day, and she said that the police, I guess she said to the police that she had seen Angela and William earlier in the day on the 21st. Uh, and that was when they came to her house and asked for gas money to put gas in the stolen BMW. And Mary noted that William's feet were wet. So, like he'd been walking through a pond. And William claimed it was a burst pipe in the motel that they were staying at. But during this statement, Mary, his own grandmother, said, quote, he's been devious enough to, I can't speak today.
You're pulling a me.
My goodness, he's been devious enough to have been involved in something. This is his own grandmother.
Wow.
In regards to the disappearance of his child, she says he's been devious enough to have been involved in something.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but really, like, nothing else happened. Tips continuously called in now across 3 states. One person claimed she saw Evelyn with her grandmother Angela at a KFC in North Carolina. But no sightings were confirmed, of course. It's just, that typical, once a case gets super popular, there's sometimes a lot of false tips called in.
Yeah.
On March 2nd, Megan Boswell asked for her bond for the charges of false reporting to be lowered, but that request was denied by a judge. So they're trying to keep her locked up. Like, they don't want this chick to get out.
Right.
March 4th, William McLeod was arraigned for theft of property charges, and it was noted that he was behaving very oddly in court. He kept, like, turning around and trying to talk to Angela while he's sitting in front of the judge, and he was, like, blowing her kisses and just
Oh.
being a fucking, yeah,
How
yeah.
old are these people?
Angela is a grandmother, so,
Yeah.
like, old enough to not be acting like a fucking weirdo in court,
Yeah.
nonetheless. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So McLeod was also denied a bond reduction, and he was given an ankle monitor, and he actually was released until his next court date. So he got out. About 2 weeks after Evelyn was reported missing, on March 6th, 2020, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation announced that they had found the remains of a toddler while searching property in Blountville, Tennessee, and that the property belonged to, quote, someone related to Megan Boswell. And that day, the remains were sent in for testing to confirm an identity and autopsy. So, but they, like, of course, immediately thought that it was Evelyn.
Yeah.
They just, wanted to confirm that. And a few days later, on March 9th, after hearing testimony from a special agent from the TBI that went into detail about how Megan gave so much false information.
I was moving my leg.
Oh,
And it's right next to the microphone.
yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay. It was like,
Your face.
I, it almost sounded like, when like an airplane flies over. It was like,
Sorry.
okay. It's okay. I was just like, whoa, what? Okay. I'm gonna start over from the beginning of that paragraph.
Okay.
Do you want to restart the call or we're okay?
No,
You can just
whatever. We're
okay.
good.
Okay. All right. A few days later, on March 9th, after hearing testimony from a special agent from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, this testimony went into great detail about how Megan gave a ton of false information every time they spoke to her, and they said that it severely hindered their investigation. The special agent testified that the property where they discovered the remains of an approximately 1.5-year-old toddler was land owned by the same person who reported Evelyn missing, and that was Megan's father, Tommy Boswell Sr.
Wow.
Yeah. They searched a house that was on the property, which was the residence of Megan's father, brother, and grandmother. And there they discovered clothing that matched the description of what Evelyn was last seen wearing.
Oh my God.
I know. Toys, diapers, and other baby clothing was also found inside the residence. And after hearing this testimony, the judge presiding over the hearing decided to actually raise Megan's bond from 25,000 up to 150,000. So they really wanted, even though she hadn't been charged with anything yet, they really wanted to keep her locked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
The day after Megan's hearing, the family of Evelyn's father, Ethan Perry, released a statement that read, quote, "While we continue to ask for privacy as we grieve this terrible tragedy, it has come to our attention that there are various unauthorized fundraising efforts on Evelyn's and our family's behalf." So apparently people had fucking started making fake GoFundMes trying to raise money and they were not legit.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They said there are those on social media claiming to speak for our family, but these claims are false. Our focus has always been Evelyn and now on the investigation and bringing all of those responsible to justice. We have complete faith and confidence in law enforcement to do just that. We ask you all again to please respect our privacy. At the same time, we would also like to thank the public for their outpouring of love for Evelyn and the law enforcement for their incredible dedication to this case. When and if the appropriate time comes for statements, fundraisers, etc., it will come from our family and be relayed to and confirmed by trusted media or the authorities. Thank you again. So apparently that was like a big thing where people were fucking scamming for money,
That's
which
disgusting.
is, I was just going to say, absolutely disgusting. Like, people are so fucked up.
Yeah.
And not only is that just such a terrible thing to do in the name of a child that was found deceased, but also how fucked up to their family too. Like the people that
Yeah.
have to already go through such a nightmare.
Yeah.
So on March 11th, 5 days after the remains were discovered on the property belonging to Megan's father, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation confirmed that it was 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Due to the publicity of the case, a judge ruled that the results of the autopsy and toxicology reports in regards to Evelyn would remain sealed, since releasing the information could negatively impact the investigation. So we actually don't know how she died or what the autopsy revealed. It's still sealed because it hasn't gone to trial yet and there hasn't been any conviction. So I don't know if uh, those will be like unsealed documents afterwards or what, but as of right now, no clue as to how she actually died.
Wow, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a thing? Like, usually when I don't know, like, I mean, I can't think of a case where if they found someone's body, they didn't, you didn't, like, we didn't know how the person was killed. You know what I mean? Until like
Yeah.
the trial, possibly.
Yeah, and the trial hasn't happened yet, so I'm assuming that's why, because they're going to have to do like, if it goes to trial, they'll have to do jury selection and things of that nature. So
Yeah.
I guess they didn't want to um essentially pollute the jury pool by releasing that
Okay.
information. Yeah.
Yeah.
So since the trial hasn't started yet, no clue. So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
The day after investigators confirmed that the remains of Evelyn had been discovered, the Boswell family also released a statement to the press. And this was kind of interesting. Right off the rip, they say the immediate Boswell family, excluding Angela Jones Boswell, so that's the grandmother of Evelyn, are in anguish and grief over their loss. It has been a very rough and trying time for everyone. At this time, they do not want to speak publicly in regards to the tragedy. They're still trying to process what has happened. They ask for media and the public to respect their wishes. They need more time to grieve privately. The show of love and support does not go unnoticed, and the family appreciates the prayers, memorials, and love that has been shown for Evelyn. In such a dark time, it shows that there are loving people out there. All we want is justice for Evelyn and whoever is responsible to pay for the crime.
But now what is the deal with the mother, Megan?
She, I don't know. So this is like her whole family releasing this statement, except like, and they specifically say like this is not on behalf of Angela Boswell. So it makes me wonder, there had to have been some sort of issue going on. I mean, it seems like right off the rip there was some sort of contention between Angela, the grandmother of Evelyn, and Megan, the mother
The
of Evelyn.
mother.
Yes, and then
Yeah,
for
I'm thinking, I mean, obviously this is speculation, but I'm thinking that Megan knew what or knows what happened, but like for some reason she didn't want to speak against her mother. Like, well, she kind of did, but for those 2 months, I mean,
yeah,
like she was scared of her mother or something, or the boyfriend or something.
it's very very strange. I None of it makes sense.
No.
None of it. Literally none of it. Um that I think is what's so baffling about this, is that you can't even try to like connect the dots because the
No.
dots are all over the place and there's not even any lines that you can draw to make any sort of logical conclusion as to what happened. So this is definitely something that I'm gonna keep up on.
Yeah.
And it has her last court date was on August 28th. So it's still, pretty recent. Um, so Megan Boswell was actually still in jail for her charges of 11 counts of false reporting. And on May 6th, Sullivan County Sheriff's Office had announced that they had a person of interest in regards to Evelyn, but they didn't release a name. They also revealed that they did not believe Evelyn had ever been in North Carolina or Virginia. They think that that was all complete false information.
Yeah.
2 days after Sullivan County Sheriff's Office said they were investigating a person of interest, Megan Boswell appeared in court, and the state prosecutors requested more time to review the overwhelming amount of recorded interviews with Megan before the case could be submitted to a grand jury. So, a couple weeks later, May 21st, Megan Boswell was obviously the person of interest, and she was indicted in front of a grand jury on 11 counts of false reporting and then arraigned 6 days later, and her bond was set in place until her next hearing. Prosecutors had planned on bringing up additional charges against Boswell, but they needed more time. So like they knew that she was the person of interest. They were basically just trying to buy time
Right.
to like get something solid that would stick.
Right.
So August 19th, during that hearing, they managed to bring up 19 additional charges. So it kind of worked out that they took their time in building this case. The 19 new charges were 2 charges of felony murder, 1 count of aggravated child abuse, 1 count of aggravated child neglect, 1 count of tampering with evidence, one count of abuse of a corpse.
Oh,
I know.
God.
I know, and I don't know what that means because we don't know anything about the remains. Um, one count of failure to report a death under suspicious, unusual, or unnatural circumstances, and 12 additional counts of false reporting.
So
So,
wait, just because this is a little bit confusing, this whole case. This is against Megan or Angela?
no, this is all against Megan, the mom of
Okay.
Evelyn. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She's been in jail this whole time.
Yeah.
They just didn't really have anything else to pin on her except for those initial 11 false report charges.
Yeah.
So now, yeah, she went back to court and yeah, they gave her 19 new charges. So that brings her total for false reporting up to 23.
Jeez.
Yeah. The arraignment hearing was on August 28th, which was pretty recent, and Megan Boswell, of course, pled not guilty to the 19 new charges. Sullivan County District Attorney General announced that he was actually considering a request for an enhanced sentencing, which can include the death penalty. And statistically, women typically don't get sentenced to death.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just some weird guilt that jurors feel, but it's not super common for women to be sentenced to death. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if they actually do go for that. During the hearing, Megan's attorney actually filed a motion for a change of venue. So he wanted the case to be tried in a different county, claiming that the media coverage of the case could affect the juror pool. You okay?
I lost the connection for a second, so I was
Oh
like, what?
no.
Like, wait. It's okay. We're good now.
Okay.
Um,
I was like, did she fall asleep?
um,
Bedtime
no, it wasn't like
stories.
that one time.
Oh, okay, you froze. Okay. So just real quick, I'm almost done. The decision on the possible enhanced sentence and the motion for change of venue, because they think that it'll affect their ability to find a jury that's impartial because it was all over the media there. That will be heard at Megan Boswell's next court date, which is scheduled for December 23rd, 2020. And she is currently being held on $1 million bond.
Wow.
So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know if the COVID situation will affect that court date as of right now. I mean, August, COVID was around then,
Yeah.
and it hasn't. I saw images of her doing her court case via like Skype or you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
remotely. So we'll see. I will keep track on that and then come up with a part two.
This is a crazy fucking case.
Yeah, it's a weird one, man.
Yeah, like I just I don't even know where to begin.
I know. I'm really interested to see what all comes out in court or if she even goes to trial. I mean, she pled not guilty, so I'm going to assume she's probably going to go to trial. I don't
Yeah.
see her taking a plea bargain just because she's so fucking out there.
Yeah.
She couldn't even get a story straight for 5 minutes to accept a plea bargain. So,
The
I'm interested.
father's not with her anymore, right?
No, I don't know much about him. I don't even know if they were together like when all of this happened or if they were separated or if they were just like doing the long distance thing. I'm not sure as to what their relationship status was.
And was her
I
her
mean,
other pregnancy, her second pregnancy, his kid?
don't know.
Oh,
The only other thing about her pregnancy that like it was confirmed at a press conference and not really he like confirmed it in a roundabout way where he said, "Oh, well, the morning of the day that Megan Boswell was arrested, there were 5 confirmed pregnancies at the prison or the jail, whatever. And that evening after Megan was arrested, there were 6 confirmed pregnancies. So he basically, without saying it, said that she was indeed pregnant. And I don't know if it was the same dad or what.
Yeah.
Actually, that kind of makes me think maybe they got into a fight and she killed Evelyn out of spite.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in Louisiana, you know, in the military. He's stuck there. That could have been a motive. I don't know. That's just
Yeah, this is crazy. And it's like so secretive too, which is so
yeah,
weird, you
it's
know?
very weird. And then gypsies, I don't know. It's
Yeah. I
I'm
gotta
not
I gotta watch those interviews.
yeah, I can't quite follow what the fuck is going on here.
I mean, maybe she's just mentally ill, you know?
She's something, all right.
She's something.
She is something.
Yeah, oh my God, that's wow. That's fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
I know. And she's like the type of person that I just want to fucking punch her in the face.
Mm.
Her mugshot, she's got this like
Oh
smirk.
God.
Yeah. I just want to punch her face off.
Let's let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's take a
I'm
trip.
ready. I'm ready. Somebody start a bailout GoFundMe because
Yeah.
we're gonna punch Megan Boswell's face off.
Oh, stupid bitch.
Yup.
All right, guys. Well, we've had quite a few technical difficulties
Oh
with
my
this
God.
episode.
And like speaking issues, I'm sorry. I am just
That's my
not.
issue usually. I don't know why, but
I I caught it from you.
you did. It's contagious.
Yes.
All right, well, we will be back very soon, and we will have a bonus episode or two coming up. So,
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We got to
yeah,
talk about that. That's just so
yeah,
creepy.
yeah.
All
All right, guys.
right,
Well,
guys.
we will see you, or you will hear us next week, hopefully.
Yep, yep.
Yes.
Stay safe
Wash your hands.
and
Don't
don't
kill
kill
your
your family.
family.
Please, please, please. Thank you.
Bye, sinners.